Hey everyone, Danielle here with Imperfect Dust, and today we're going to be changing out and repurposing. I've even got my hair dryer here, so you know it's going to be a fun day. All right, so up first, I'm going to show you what my stepmother-in-law got me for repurposing. Actually, quite a few. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 of these. And she found them at Hobby Lobby on sale. I don't even remember. I think the sale was so cheap. I mean, she called me one day or FaceTimed me actually in Hobby Lobby. She's like, could you use these? So just know that you should be on the lookout for these in your Hobby Lobby. All right, so we have Come Gather at the Table, and it just looked a little boring, but it's a Lazy Susan. Isn't that fun? I didn't even realize how much it matched my desk until now. But this is the product. It's from the fall section. So that's where she found it. And it was originally $17.99, but I know that like I said, she got it super reasonable and asked me if I needed them. And I said, yes, I could repurpose one of those on a Facebook Live together. So today we're going to be using a digital dust template, and the template is Stay a While. And I just thought this would be really cute for a coffee table where you could see it there and you could put things on it if you wanted to, because we're going to seal it. But it's also just a cute thing to have sitting around, like Stay a While, because you're sitting there in the living room together. So I'm going to go ahead and hop right to it, but I wanted you to see how it started out. And then now, hey, Elizabeth, I'm so happy you're here. Now I'm going to put the template to the side and show you that I only had time this morning to get one coat of paint on the version that we're going to paint on today. And I just love, see how that looks like shiplap now? Like, I just love it. So I'm going to put this to the side. And hey, Donna, I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to actually probably start blow drying this one because it's still not completely dry. And I want to be able to do that second coat, dry it again, and get to lettering. So I'm going to have this going in the background. Sorry about the noise, but let me know how things are going with you and what you've been up to lately. I guess I can have this here. But I was trying to help out on the noise a little bit. I know Lindsay said she can't help but walk through Hobby Lobby and look for things to letter. And that is so how it goes. I wish I could just mute this hair dryer. I'm trying to think too. Something. Oh, someone recently emailed me about a Mother's Day template, and I thought about doing that today, but I don't know. These have been sitting over here just wanting me to letter them, and I couldn't wait any longer. All right. I think this coat might be good, and then we can do the second. So I don't want to keep y'all waiting too long. So the paint I'm using today is Folk Art, again from Hobby Lobby. And this one is called Vintage White. And y'all, I'm not real fancy with the way that I do this. I don't usually even have a palette. I just squeeze on and then use my sponge brush. I'm grabbing my sponge brush from over here. Let's see. Here we go. I just kind of y'all, that was not planned. That was kind of funny though. Okay, I'm gonna put that here. The boys, I have 3 boys, if y'all didn't know, and those noises in our house, which really I don't care what gender you are, anytime you hear those noises, it's funny. So, and look, I'm just turning it on its side so that it'll go faster. Yeah, see, what about that, Lindsay? I'm just turning it on its side to get more surface area, but I think 2 coats is going to do it. My biggest concern was covering up that lettering that was already under there, or should I say like a decal or something, because something that's come up recently in the Digital Dust subscription, someone asked, do you have a font of your lettering, or they just, can I get the letters? And y'all, I have not created a font because they are so hard to make all the letters like hug together well and all that. And then when you are doing a lettering layout, you want to make it hug together. Like I'm looking at this sign over here that I could show you, and every letter might be a little different. Like you may have seen my recent reel. There we go again. Where I was lettering "He is risen," but I didn't actually show the entire thing on the reel. I stopped it at "He is risen," but then I did this indeed afterwards. I just thought it just looked a little like it needed something else. But see how this E is like this and this E is like this? I mean, I guess they're similar, but they're different sizes so that they could hug together nicely on that layout. That's why fonts are so hard, because everything is so uniform. Like if you make an E, that's what that E is going to look like. If you make an A, that's what that A is going to look like. So you have to keep that in mind on fonts. And I've never taken the time to sit and create and figure out how to make everything still look good together. So there's not fonts in there, but there are so many templates that hopefully you would find one that you like. And if not, there is a request section. So this person had said, there's no Mother's Day, or are there any more Mother's Day? So I have a Happy Mother's Day, but then on top of that, you can go into the scripture section. Sorry, I know y'all can't see this, but I see a little flake in here that I'm trying to get rid of. That's why I keep going over the same spot. But you can go in the scripture section, and there are scriptures like Proverbs 31 and other things that can be used for Mother's Day, but it's not specifically like Happy Mother's Day over and over. There's only one of those. But that's what I almost did today. And then I thought, no, I want to get this one done and show you how fun it can look. And really my goal is for you to always be on the lookout, like Lindsay talked about, for different ways you can repurpose things that you see in store. And you want to make sure you dry it well so that when we come in here in a minute and trace our design on, that it doesn't, get glunky and the paint start peeling up. I have some sandpaper too, so we might get a little messy in here in a minute, because I think some distressing on this would look really good on those shiplap cracks. A little more. I know that some of you are in the digital dust. Can y'all hear me, or is it pointless? Let me know before I just keep going. Hey, Stephanie. Okay, good. The Digital Dust private group. I've got to share this on the main page, thank you, where Ree Covington posted actually now someone else did too. But I'm going to talk about Ree. Ree hosted a project party at her church where they did banners with digital dust designs, and she came already having the digital dust designs printed out, and they got to choose what they were going to put on their banner. So she had the sheets printed for everybody, and oh my goodness, I just loved seeing what everybody created. Okay, maybe just a little more. Okay, I'm going to let that ride. Now, if I were to sell this, like, I'm not reselling this, I'm just showing y'all like a project idea. If I were to resell this, I would probably do one more coat of white, but that's just because there are some, I can still see that showing through a little bit. Hey, Cindy, Tammy, and Regina. And I would probably want another coat on there. But for the sake of this live, so you don't have to keep listening to me, do the hair dryer. I'm going to go ahead and just get started. And I'm going to show you how you can take some graphite paper and you place it shiny side down. And we're going to put it right there in the center and lay our template right on top. And now I'm going to take a pencil and trace. Actually, let me see. Yeah, I'll use a regular pencil. I was going to show y'all, if you order some carbon paper from the link on my resources page, I'm going to show you what little tools come with it that are really cool. Okay, these tools, because the only thing about using pencils, I use pencils on lives because you can see the lines showing up where I've lettered. But if you're doing it in person, these little tools are so cool. They're called styluses, and they come with your white carbon paper with the, well, look, she's got the graphite paper linked for you right there. And then the white carbon paper is like $5, and you get one of these with it. And it's really cool because you don't have to worry about your lead breaking. That's the only thing with pencils. And you can press as hard as you want, but it comes with like 4 or 5 of these with different weights on the tip. But that's another thing. If you have one of these, you can use those too. But for today, I'm just going to come in with a pencil, and I want you to see that if you are a brand new beginner to this method and you have never tried, I'm going to come around on all the edges that I see. And the reason I'm doing that is because if you're not familiar with lettering, you may not know where to add thickness to your strokes. And having these guidelines is a great help to not have to think too hard about it. You will still become familiar with it over time, but just if you're getting started, don't be afraid to just go around all the edges to give yourself those guidelines. And you'll see here in just a minute, if this is your first time, you're going to see what comes out when we reveal it in just a moment. But I wanted you to see that, because if you are familiar with lettering and you feel like you're comfortable with it, you could just do your line straight down the center and your tracing will go faster. But it's, I wanted you to be able to see, if you are brand new to lettering, how these templates can help you not have to think about a thing. You just trace. Feels like we're back in kindergarten. And that's why I think anybody, especially if you have a larger project like this, we just completed the scripture lettering workshop where a couple hundred women went through and were able to complete this scripture project. This is on a canvas panel, and it was their first time ever lettering, some of them. And they were able to use a template to see. Oh, I have the template right here. So we did this method with a canvas panel on gray, and I'll have to share some of the results from that too, because y'all, they did so good. And it was very intricate because you saw like the scripture reference is small. It's a lot of tedious loops, but bigger projects like this, really, there's no need to be intimidated. You can get right to tracing. You have a large enough space to not worry about bumping into anything. And you just come all around making those guidelines, because what's happening is this graphite paper is depositing down onto the board. At least we hope it is. I have gone through an entire live before and had my graphite paper flipped the wrong direction, but I know it's in the right direction right now, so I want to save the reveal. Watch me peel it away in a moment and it's not there, and then I'll be like, oops. But I think we're good, so I'm going to keep on going. And everywhere I am pressing is going to leave a line. And the way this works is graphite paper is full of what your pencil lead is full of, the graphite, and it's just going to leave that transfer on the wood. Or MDF, I'm not really sure what this is, but we're repurposing from Hobby Lobby, like Lindsay said. And your goal when you're out is just to say, hey, what could I add lettering to or repurpose to use a template on. Another member recently had a paint party. It wasn't a project party just for this, but she had a paint party where she taught them how to paint a bird, and it was like a beautiful scene. And she had them choose lettering to add to the art, which I thought was so cool because, she's teaching them how to, what I would call really paint, teaching them how to paint something. And then the lettering is just like a little bonus because it's just so nice to add words to our art. It's like you can get a feeling from a piece of art. Yes. It's also so nice to assign that feeling with words and get those words out. That's why I love the scripture lettering workshop. Okay. So there we go. And you'll notice I'm not being super perfect. I'm just getting those guidelines down. And are y'all ready for the reveal? Okay. Hey, Connie. Okay, here we go. I'm going to peel it back and hope that they're there. Yay! Oh, and my eye. I didn't dot my eye. Y'all see that? I'm going to add a little dot right here. Okay, and there are some places that are lighter than others. You can come back and hit those with your pencil, and some that are darker. But it's okay because everything is going to be, oh, Lindsay, you said it. There's a lag on these comments, so I didn't see your dot the I until the end. Okay, I'm going to put this over here, and now we're going to grab a black paint pen. Let me make sure I get the kind I want. Because I have some that I've got a box full of paint pens over here too. Let's see. Okay, I hope this one's full because that's the only black one I have right here without digging too much. Okay, let's see. I've got this right there. And can y'all see good? You're good. This is a Posca paint pen. I absolutely love these. And you'll hear me talk about them like crazy. Hey, Letta and Lynn and Lisa. Oh, while the high school kids are at lunch. I love that. You getting some lettering time in. And look, you can just stay a while they're gone. But look, now I have the ability to come in and go inside my guidelines super easily with this. So this Posca is a medium tip and it takes out all the guesswork. So I can just come in on those lines. And then if you notice on the downstrokes, it's thicker. So I'm just going to retrace in a new place until they're filled in. We're not scribbling in. We're just going back over our spots and smoothing things out. And I just want to make sure all those pencil lines are covered up really nice and everything looks even. Now I'm going to come up on that T. And this is just really like a paint by number that you did in school, but you get to come away like, oh, look what I hand lettered. Hey, Lori, I'm so glad that you're here. It's okay that you're late. You're getting in on the good part. In the beginning, they had to listen to a hairdryer, so that was not fun. I'm sorry, y'all. But these Poscas are great. They are my favorite paint pen. And the other brand that I used for years was called Painter's Brand, and you can find those at Walmart. They're still good, but these are just very smooth, and I really, really like these. Let me go back up here a little bit. And since you just tuned in, I will let you know, hey, Marisa, that this was a Hobby Lobby find that is being repurposed. And because it was bought at a clearance price, and that is what I encourage you to look for, especially if you are trying to resell. Like if I were to buy this, redo it, and then put it at a local booth, you're going to be able to have a great profit margin because you're finding them at such a good price on sale. And not just stores like Hobby Lobby. I want y'all looking like in thrift stores. There are so many pieces that can be painted, distressed, repurposed. And when you're a Digital Dust subscriber, you can sell what you make with these templates. So you can put that subscription to use. And I want it to be fun for you, because at the end of the day, we can only have so many, pieces in our home. Why not have a fun hobby that pays for itself? Okay. And look, I just love how these hug together so good. So we've got our stay, and then I'm going to even try to get a little bit of black down in that crack right there. Let's see, just to kind of cover up where you could still see white coming through. Okay. Oh, that's okay. We'll see you later, Monique. All right, now I'm going to come in for a while. And notice too, especially if you were just recently in the scripture lettering workshop and had any kind of like, oh, this was a little tougher than I thought it would be, keep in mind, you were working with very small loops and letters. Here, you can get templates that are much larger and more, let's say, user-friendly. So you're going to have so much more space here to really free up your adding in the thickness. I know sometimes that's a struggle to add thickness when it's small, but here I'm using a medium tip, and I'm really able to just kind of go and then come right back without worrying about not having different upstrokes and downstrokes, because I know sometimes that's a struggle. You want to make sure, see this space right here? You want to make sure you always have definite upstrokes and downstrokes to mimic that calligraphy look. So this would be our downstroke, and that's the up. I got a little outside the line, but that's okay. Okay. And come around. And there's so many different ways to letter the same letter. Like this W is really curved. Sometimes you'll see me do W's that have points on the bottom. And I encourage you, if you get to where you are good at the template, you can freehand. And the more familiar you are, the more you have muscle memory with your template, the more you may be encouraged to do your own. And you can really make your lettering your own by doing different letters, and like the same letter in different ways. So in a moment, while this dries, before I distress, I may show you what I mean by that on paper. So here we go. I'm going to fill in those little spots where you can still see a little white. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. And then for this H, I'm going to come around, down, and up. And then I'm going to come back on that same upstroke, but notice I'm just coming down in a new place. So if I didn't have these guidelines here, I'm just trying to teach you lettering, I want you to see that downstroke is just a retrace in a new place. Here we go. And then the I, that downstroke again. Going to dot our I this time. Come around. That shiplap is just serving as my little bumper stop point. Okay, now here, another thing that's different about if you were in the scripture lettering workshop, this is a black pen versus white, and that's always so much easier to work with. White pens don't flow quite as easily. The Poscas are the best I've found, but for some reason, they are just a little bit trickier to work with. All right, almost done. And then I see a little bit of pencil mark here. I just want to cover that up. Okay. I just want to do that. It's so fun. Okay, and then let's see what y'all are saying. Oh, Lori, you are so right. Sometimes they are tricky. She's talking about thrift stores and Goodwills. Like Goodwill, you are doing too much sometimes. All right, let me grab my sandpaper. I'm going to let this dry for a minute though before I do the sandpaper. Let's see. Is it better when starting out to do short strokes instead of trying long ones with a shaky hands? I would, if it feels easier to you to do the short strokes, of course, try that. And then the goal, I think it's going to matter with your pen, whatever pen you're using. Because if you're using like a fountain pen, because I teach in the hand lettering class that you can really pick up any type of pen that you have in your kitchen drawer and create this method of lettering because you don't need a brush pen. But where that would look kind of maybe not great would be like with a fountain pen or something like that. But a paint pen, yes, you could do soft, shorter strokes. Oh, that's okay, Doris. I hate that. Wi-Fi is always tricky. Like, I want so badly to be able to trust it, and then I can't. But paint pens, I think you could try that. And it's going to come down to trial and error. So try it out, and then you'll know more next time. If I would try it on something that you'd be okay with, not, if it messed up, it'd be all right. And then see if you like that method. Okay, while this dries, I'm going to show you what I mean by two different ways. So let me grab some paper right here. That one already wrote on. Let's see. Clear. I'll use the back of this one, even though it's got a little bit of little dots on it, but that's okay. That's almost dry. I just want to be able to distress it on the live with you. But let me grab a marker and show you what I mean. Okay, so this is just a regular Amazon basic marker. Oh, Wanda, that is such a good point. So she just told her to support her elbow. So see how my elbow is resting on the table here? That will help with shakiness. If anybody struggles with that, it is a help. Versus just your wrist, try making sure your whole arm or like that you get enough space to where your elbow is also laying down on the table. I could do that right here. Okay, so let's show Stay a While. Maybe I'll show it this way. So the way that Stay a While is there, we've got ST. I'm going to do that, but in a different way. Okay, so see, we've got this stay, but then notice the difference in the Y and the T crossing. So I've got a straight across and a wiggly across, and then I've got a loopy Y and a regular Y up there. And then a while, let's see, if I do that, let's see how that W is different. And then maybe the H disconnected. Now, I'm not saying that's any better. Scratch that. I really just wanted you to see two different ways, but I like this way better. So, how can we make that work still? Ooh, I could do, can y'all see it there? Okay, ST. But then the W, I will go lower. Can y'all see that? And then I'll bring that H across. How did I have it up here? I have the I right under the Y. Because that's just going to run into trouble. This is why having an iPad is so nice. Because you can change it up on the iPad over and over. Yeah, look, we can make that go together. There we go. I could make those loops go all the way together. Anyway, sorry about that. I just wanted you to see a different way of doing different things. But now we got this dry, so I'll put this to the side. But these are fun if you're just trying to make something your own. Like maybe you look at a template and you're like, I like how she did it, but I kind of want to make it my own. Well, you can change out the way that the letters are done. You don't have to stick with my Y. You could go with your own Y or a different type of W. But hey, this just shows you the power of having that template already done. You don't need to worry about doing your own. Just use a digital dust template and you're good. Okay, I'm going to grab this hair dryer because I see like a couple spots on the black that could be a little better before I start distressing. Yes. Okay, Lisa, if you comment the word digital, it will send you a link to, oh, wait. No, okay, sorry. Lindsay dropped the iPad class. If you drop the word digital, it will send you a link to join Digital Dust, the template library. So it has over 550 templates like this. But you can also, let me show y'all something else. Before I went live here today, I thought that my template might need to be larger than what could print on my printer. So I went to a website called blockposters.com. And when you become a subscriber, you'll get access to some tutorials that show you how to use your templates in other ways. For instance, this big, we did this on a live together, and it took 4 pages of digital dust template being like broken up like this, and it took 4 different sections. But I show you how to use that website to create even larger. Well, I thought I was going to need it, but then turns out I didn't. So that just shows you though how that would have worked if I would have needed an even larger one, because you can do this in 4 pages or whatever. But then I saw it and I was like, oh, I don't even need that. So all I did to get today's template was I took my printer and I did it up to 115% because originally this template was down just a little, like, because at 100%, it would have just been a little smaller. So I took it up to 115% and it was perfect for this. So, okay, I'm going to grab my sandpaper now. And I want to hit the edges and the shiplap part. And one thing, when I used to make signs, I would distress over the lettering too, just to add a little bit of texture and make it look, you know, roughed up a little bit. And then anytime I have spots that are wide open like this, I might hit the sound, y'all, the sound. I might hit those just to give it a little bit of visual depth or like texture. So I absolutely hate making y'all hear that, but you'll see it come through. Another thing you could do would be to hit it with like a paintbrush, like dry brushing it. But I'm just such a fan of sandpaper and distressing. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of drag it lightly over the lettering. And I'm going to hold it up so y'all can see what it's doing here in just a second. Okay. Okay, so you're just not going to be able to see it as good as I want you to. That's not going to come through. But I'm also recording over here on my phone where I know it's pretty clear. And I'll be able to post this hopefully as a reel and you'll be able to see better. But okay, another thing, I'm going to hit these grooves. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this stylus and I'm going to kind of dig out some of this paint that got in the groove. And use my paper towel. It's right here. The black I didn't mind, but I really just wanted that white to not be so clunky. I'm okay with that. And here we go. Might have to come back with some black if I don't like how it looks. But that just got a lot of that gunky paint that was sitting in there gone. That was like a perfect fit. It's kind of like really satisfying. Hey, Sybil. I can. Sybil is over on YouTube making comments. I don't know if y'all know it. I have a YouTube channel too. A lot of you watch on Facebook, but I stream this on both YouTube and Facebook. And I know some of you like to watch on YouTube because if you're anything like at my house, we don't even have regular TV anymore. We have YouTube Premium, and we treat YouTube like our TV. Like, I mean, we do. It is our TV, but you know what I'm saying. We treat it like our network TV that we used to have. Okay, come in here. I'm trying not to put it on the table so it won't be so shaky. So having that. It's not every live that I get sandpaper out. Okay, and then I'm going to hit here and here. Oh, y'all, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, Lisa, that would have been a good idea. I don't have an X-Acto knife out here, but I like that idea. Okay, and so, you know, I'm guessing, do you have a Cricut or a Silhouette? Because X-Acto knife makes me think of weeding or using vinyl, and I have never gotten in that world. I tried to because I thought I would make templates easier with my lettering. Oh, y'all, I'm really liking this. I thought I would make templates easier, but I got frustrated like 2 days in, and I boxed it back up and sent it back to Amazon. I was like, I can hand letter this faster because the weeding and stuff is intense. Okay, one more spot here. Y'all see how that's shaking? I'm sorry. Just kind of rough it up. Oh my goodness, I'm loving this. Okay, in person is so much better every time. All right, so let me see if I can show you like this and it show up better. I don't know. Let me take it to where you can only see this. Does that camera? Look at that. Look at those. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Love, 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 love. Okay. Now y'all can see all my contraptions. Okay, great question, Lindsay asked about the sandpaper. So this is a piece that has been torn off. I want to say it's 120 grit, if I remember correctly. But I choose a finer grit. So that is what I would suggest. So like 100 to 120, 140, something like that. Choose a finer grit so that you can make it more if you need to, but it won't just go crazy rough at the beginning. Okay. Michelle said, what size is the wood round? I bet it tells me right here on the back. It is a 14.9 by 14.9. So, okay, here's the thing. I thought about this. Now, this, like I said, is a Lazy Susan, but I thought, what if you popped this off? I'm not going to do it, but you could even pop this off and use the round. And the reason I'm saying this is because this was literally, I think it was $3. I think it was like a 90% off fall stuff. And when she asked me about it, I'm wondering if any of these other ones have tags. No, they don't. See, this is what it looked like before. If you're just tuning in, this is what it looked like before. And we just turned it into this. I'm in love. I love it so much. But anyway, so inexpensive that you could even pop these off and put a hanger on the back, like a sawtooth hanger, and hang it on the wall. But if you did that, my thought was this: what if you had a really pretty bow up here and greenery to hang up? But because I'm planning on using this like a Lazy Susan, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to show you what you can use to seal it, because even though you don't want to cover up the lettering if it's on your table, you want it to be where you can wipe it down. You might have a few things on there. I don't have anything in here like accent wise, but you might have some things that you put on it if it's on your table. But anyway, this will keep it from scuffing up. So this is a crystal clear enamel. It's Rust-Oleum brand. And I'm going to pop it off and I'm going to show you. Let's see. Yeah, you can stage it and make it look cute. Like even if you had, let me show y'all this. Now it's a hot mess behind me, so y'all don't judge. But if you took a shelf like up here, what if we did this before I spray it? And we had oh, it's too big for this shelf. But you could have it on a shelf with like a little thing of greenery beside it, and just prop it up. You wouldn't necessarily have to use it as a Lazy Susan. But anyway, put these projects back up there. Okay. Now, I will show y'all quickly how to do this. It's super, super simple. And I don't want to get it on my cameras and stuff, so let me move those out of the way. But we're just going to hit it with a little spray like so. And there is a little sheen that we can see now. I know y'all might, you can see a little bit of shimmer from it. And yes, Iris says you can put resin on it. That's a good point too. The spray, this is twisting on me because it is a twister on the back. But the spray is just real easy to me. I'm not having to get a paintbrush out or anything. I'm just spraying it. So, and it usually comes out pretty nicely. And if you think it needs more, you can wait on this to dry and do another coat. But all right, y'all, that's today's project. If you missed it, go back and watch the replay. I'm trying to find that other one to show you. Okay, we went from this to this. And don't you think that's a glow up? Okay. Oh, yes, Michelle, I agree. Spray outside. I just couldn't take my camera outside because it's on the computer. But use a very ventilated area or go outside. Okay, well, I'm going to let y'all go so I can open this door and it not be too in here. But Joey always, I share an office with my husband. And if I ever do this and he walks in, he's like, whoa, I can tell you sprayed that stuff in here again. All right, well, good deal. I will see y'all next week. And you never know what we're going to be up to. And if you are a Digital Dust subscriber, I will see you inside the private Facebook group. I love watching what projects y'all post, the things that you're doing. Keep that up. I love when someone has a question, they'll ask, and then another person is helping, and we're just cheering each other on. That's so fun. I love seeing everything you're creating. And I would love to invite you. If you are not a Digital Dust subscriber, you are invited to come join us over there. With your subscription, you will get commercial licensing so that you can sell what you make. So like what we made here on the live today, you could sell it either online or in person at craft shows and things like that. And then you get a library of over 550 hand-lettered designs. And if you'd like to know more about that, just comment digital and a link will be sent to you that tells you all about the subscription and how you can join us too. So, all right, everybody, I will see you next week, Thursday, 12 Central. Talk to you later.